students, welcome to week one. You should have already watched the course tour video that talks about sort of the big picture. And then today I want to begin with week one. So we have to talk about, what is religion? What do we mean by the term religion? And we'll begin, if we were in a classroom together today, instead of our virtual space, I would say, how do we begin talking about it? Let's think about features of religion. And some of the terms I would expect you to throw at me or characteristics would be, religion. Okay, a belief in God or goddesses, the presence of holy figures or wise individuals or prophets. Someone might say, oh, there'll be something evil, maybe Satan, spirits, angels, jinn, prayers, community, ceremonies, rituals organized around a belief system, holy days, a calendar that would have observances, something supernatural, magic, sacred objects, holy text, mystery, an origin story, a cosmological view, something maybe someone might say, there, heaven, hell, conceptions of these things, an afterlife, a before life, a holy text, an origin story, an explanatory system, like something that tells us, why things are the way they are in the natural world, a system for mediating anxiety about suffering or death. Some people would say, well, there's going to be something about sin and forgiveness, or something about a path to salvation. And while it's true, some of those features might be present in particular traditions. Probably won't find all of them in every tradition. So when we talk about Zen Buddhism, there's not some supreme deity, right? In some traditions, it's going to be more important that you profess a particular belief, you ascribe to it and say, yes, I'm in, I commit to believing these things, believing in this particular conception of a higher being. While in another tradition, it's less important what you believe, it's more important what you do. What are you doing in your daily? Like there's certain laws that you have to obey. So not all these features will be present in all systems that get lumped into this category, kind of complicated space we call religion. In trying to define religion, theologian Paul Tillich called it that which is of ultimate concern, to the most important thing. David Feltmate, who wrote our book, takes the broad view of William James, and he finds that useful. And so you'll read this, religion consists of belief that there is an unseen order and that our supreme good lies in harmoniously adjusting ourselves thereto. There's some kind of system, and it behooves us to get on board with it. And that's one of the ways James looks at religion. Feltmate also points out and points us toward the concept of civil religion. So people like sociologist Robert Bellah, even though he changed his mind over time, but he saw a lot of religion in U.S. civil society, in our ceremonies, in the way we conceive of ourselves. We think of the U.S. as being a special place, and as of our documents as being also exceptional, and in that maybe sacred. So our Constitution is sacred. It's a document, but written by human beings that, you know, argued and took pieces out and added new pieces and at some point ratify it. But Bella saw that we consider something about our country, this country, the United States, and that piece of paper, that working document, is sacred. He also draws our attention to Marx, who viewed a religion, of course, as a means of control. There was the ruling class over the oppressed classes, and the idea is, you know, the poor can hope for charity, but not for parity. So unequal and some vested interest in keeping things unequal. Freud, on the other hand, believed that religious ideas are, quote, illusions, fulfillments of the oldest, strongest, and most urgent wishes of mankind. So for Freud, religion offered the security that we needed from our parents as children, you know, and now as adults in this complicated world we have to navigate. Freud thought, you know, religion for many people provided that security, that kind of frame of understanding and safety. Rudolf Otto, another religious theorist, believed that religion came out of early human experience with nature. That on the one hand, nature was this, you know, the source of provision. You know, it provided shelter, it provided food, it everything humans needed, you know, water, that all came from this natural system, that planet Earth. However, nature can be pretty tricky, right? So there was also the possibility that, you know, there would be a tsunami, or that there wouldn't be any water and all the plants would die. The river would dry up. I mean, horrible things could happen. And he talks about the moment when you can have this fearful destructiveness, and he describes this as fascination. On the one hand, we're fascinated by the power of nature, but we also have this terrible dread. So it's the mystery that causes trembling and fascination and leaves us emotionally affected, that leads us to conceptualize, to have this feeling that we identify and organize as religion. So, is religion about belief? Is it about practice? Often in religious studies we'll call that praxis. Or is it an identity? You know, you're born into a particular community and your parents are of a particular belonging. Everyone around you, possibly, in some places of the world, everyone around you also belongs, has a similar religious belonging. It's just what you do, it's your identity, it's who you are. It's so seamless that you might not separate it out as a particular category of behavior or belief. It's more about just identity. This is just who I am. So it's a little bit of intro. There's so much more to say, but I don't want to make this too long. So this is just a little bit to give you some grounding in ways to think about what religion is. And the next piece is going to be on popular culture. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.